Is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
2-1. Wells drives it. Deep left center field. Melendez back on the run. It's off the base of the wall. Melendez trips and falls. Volpe easily home. Throw comes in as short, and Austin Wells is thriving. He's
really came down to probably not getting swing and miss because they got guys to 2 strikes, couldn't put them away, and those are good hitters.
When you play the type of defense that the Panthers do, because they come after you. You know, Lutz got him going out there, and he's got them pinning their ears back, and they're coming. So a lot of times if one guy misses an assignment, there's some trouble there, and you can't take a play off.
The 3 of our 6 were first-time runners on the boys' side. So, it's nice to see them compete well. I think there's a huge upside with that group. I think they definitely can get a whole lot better.
Ayuk behind Bell left. They run Mason off the left side. A cutback run. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Honestly, just thinking about it, I told Christian, I said, I don't know how you do it, man. It's a long game, but, this is just the beginning, and, we're going to see where we go from here.
Cincinnati's still trying to figure out, to try to find more creative ways to become explosive on offense. My big concern, I said this on NFL Live last week, we could talk about Jamar Chase and we could talk about T. Higgins all around. Dude, that team's not going to matter when it comes to the truth of winning the division and going on a Super Bowl if they can't stop the run.
Since he's been in Cleveland, I think he's only had one really good game. If you feel like that position can't compete, you have no shot in the NFL, especially the way that team is designed. When you put that much money in that position and he has not provided that to me is of major concern.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM, the talk of the town, streaming on all kinds of platforms around the world. Steve Webster with you here on this Tuesday show. Mike Corson is in, joined by Mike Hesher. Our studio engineer today is Landon Winkler. On the program, we'll be talking with the voice of the Cardinals, Cole Reif. Also, the K-Preps poll is out. We'll talk to Cole about that. High school rankings. Barton volleyball coach Megan Bessaker, the 4th-ranked Barton Lady Cougars, win again last night. They're 11-0. They swept Pratt. So Coach Bessaker will be in. And Mike Corson goes on the prowl for Panther Sports. Who you got today, Mikey?
Panther tennis coach Zach Bartle.
Okay, so we've got all that on there. Does that hurt when you do that?
No,
Ash?
that's kind of fun.
Yeah, you sounding good. We'll have the Tuesday sports headlines. Of course, we'll start with the sounds the past 24 hours or so. The call last night on WFAN in New York. Austin Wells doubles in a run. That's after a 3-run homer. The Yankees broke it open late. And they beat the Royals last night by the score of 10-4. What did I say? WFAN, right? Okay,
yes, WFAN.
Right. Okay. Rough night for Royals reliever James MacArthur. As a righty would give up 4 runs on 3 hits without retiring a batter. And again, Royals skipper Matt Quatrero said he didn't miss enough bats, which...
Duh.
Well, I know what you're supposed to say. I don't know how the guys... They do an interview before the game.
After the game.
Yep. How do you like to be those reporters having to ask those questions all the time? So Cleveland beat the White Sox last night 5-3. So the Royals 3.5 games now behind the Guardians for the AL Central. But Minnesota, they lost to the Angels. So KC's still 2.5 games ahead of Minnesota for the last wild card spot. 3 in front of Boston. Mike Corson attached several interesting tidbits on the Royals bullpen. I saw it when I went back to get my stuff off the printer, and it was right underneath the bus story that from the school board meeting. Yeah. So we'll leave that out. We'll wait for that. You can hear that on KVGB and on grapeinpost.com. But
I'm a company man, Steve. Instead of using 2 pieces of paper, I used 1, and then I cut it right at the seam. So now I've only got my Royal statistics.
See that?
And by the way,
hear that, Hayes? We're cutting down back.
Those reporters, we know they're stupid questions. We need you to say something because we're going to put that quote in the story. But you won't just say it, so I have to ask the stupid question that we've already asked 1,300 times.
I know.
So yeah,
it'd be tough.
Okay, so yeah, last night Brady Singer, pretty decent. 5 innings, three earned runs. They hit. Royals were ahead 4-3 when they pulled him.
Well, why can't he go 7?
Yeah, well,
they will say the Yankees make you work, and he threw more pitches last night than he normally does.
What? So 80?
Well,
Okay.
So no Royal pitcher has gone over 110 this year at all, I believe.
I've been blaming the bullpen all year, and I think it's going to be a problem here September, October. So obviously you got the 15 teams in the American League. Overall, the Royals' complete staff is 7th in ERA, but the starters have a 3.57 ERA, which is second best in the American League this year, and the bullpen ERA is 4.54, which is 12th best or third worst. Starters have a 2.39 average against. It's tied for 6th best in the American League. Relievers are third worst at 2.59. Whip for the relievers is only second worst to the White Sox. That's walks or hits per inning pitched.
What is it?
1.38. Woo! So the good news in all this
That'd
is
be
those,
like 10th or 11th in Tiger Ball overall. I mean, it's out of 12 teams there too. So
the good news in all of it is Kansas City's starters are the second most inning pitched in the American League. So they're using the bullpen less than everybody but Seattle.
So the obvious thing is
keep them in.
Keep them in. I mean, you got Michael Wacha. These guys, they're older. What are we saving them for?
I don't think they're saving them.
Well, let them throw 110 pitches. I would trust them the third time through the order than I would. I mean, MacArthur, man, was a gas can last night.
You put it up on the board. Fellas, 100's an arbitrary number. We're going to make our number 118. So when you start getting 116, then you can start looking over, see who's warming up. But we're done with this 99 pitch business.
Okay, I can, in defense of the bullpen, and now there's not a lot of defense in what he's saying, but you guys know if they have one bad outing in a bullpen, it can blow it up all out of the. I mean, what did MacArthur's ERA do?
Is it COVID or what? It just goes around the bullpen.
Here's the trick behind math. It's standardized among all 15 teams.
The bullpen pitchers don't pitch as much. If you don't, I mean, what did MacArthur's ERA do from 2 nights ago to last night to this morning?
But neither does the other 15 bullpens, so it's all the same. They're comparatively to other bullpens.
And what about the times they won the Minnesota series? I mean, they had a great effort, so they have the talent. It's just, as Denny Matthews says, every time you bring in an arm, you're messing with fire because they could not be good that day.
So don't bring them in.
Okay, that's okay.
I think
put a tarp on the fence where the guy can't see. He doesn't know if the cavalry's on the horizon or not.
Well, okay, they brought in Stratton in the 9th inning. They're already down 3 or 4 runs. Stratton has not been very good this year at all, so he gives up another 3 runs.
And they can start wearing brown trousers. But I think there was a walk to lead off things last night, and it was the first walk in, I think, 8 innings for the bullpen. So they do have streaks of greatness.
Yes.
And if they hit that timing just right for the playoffs, it could be magical, but I don't like the odds.
Well, the starters are going to go further in the playoffs.
I just think all of this right now, we are on
We're
September
talking baseball
10th,
on September 10th, exactly.
The Royals are going to be in the playoffs, and right now you look at it, they're sneaking in where they could host a wild. Now that's
they would. I think they'd have to win 2 of the next 2 against New York to get to that position.
Well, there's still time.
There is still time.
Are you driving or am I driving, Mike?
To the Royals game?
Yeah.
I've already talked to my daughter, and I said, I'm going to the Royals game if they make the playoffs. She said, we're going too. I said, I don't remember offering that. I said, I'm going. I didn't say anything about you guys going.
Do you remember that I'm part-time now? You are landlocked here.
No, I'm not.
You are landlocked.
I will let you know I have October 12th and 13th already off. So
what's that mean to me?
I don't know.
I don't find out.
I don't know who's going to take care of the station.
I'm just saying.
Okay, that's a discussion for another time.
Yeah, you don't kick the can down the road on that one. There'll be a riderless horse down here in the morning.
A rudderless ship. Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm just saying. Okay, Sean Bear on the show yesterday, which, by the way, you guys, I've never heard so many positive things about you in my life. Was your opening broadcast? I mean, you and Sean worked. I mean, first game out, nice broadcast against McPherson. Yeah.
Bromance.
Yeah, it is. So the Panthers do have a lot of guys going both ways. Now, how are you going to keep them off the field?
That's a good question. I mean, my question is...
I want my best guys out there.
Yeah, but, I mean, we figured out...
These guys are young.
But there's also, you get tired, that increases the chance of injuries.
Back in my day, we were on the kickoff team, we were on the punt team, we were on the offense, we were on the defense.
And you played with leather helmets.
This has been going on for a while.
We had the hard version of the leather helmet.
Okay.
And I would say, unless you're playing somebody like Olathe South this weekend, I think most, even 5As play mostly two-way guys. You might have some elite programs that are bringing in kids that have the option, the luxury of switching them out.
That was the Marvin Diener thing, you know, when he's a Salina Central and then went on to Gardner Edge. It was, he wouldn't have anybody play both ways. Even though, you can't argue with success. They won, but he had a lot of good football players. But you can't take a play off. I don't know when you rest.
Well, my question to him was, in basketball, they always say rest on offense, not defense, because you got to play defense. And he was saying you can't do that in football. Correct?
No.
Baseball, you can rest the whole time when you're playing defense.
I'd be like, Dax, don't throw it to me on this one. I'm going to take this one off. I'm only going 10 yards out. I'm not running. It's like the guy stealing bases, and then the guy fouls off 6 pitches. Just keeps running.
You keep running. Panthers host Olathe South on Friday.
Correct. I'm ready.
You are?
I'm ready.
Give us some tidbits.
I don't have any yet.
Okay, very good.
No, there was one young man in the Kansas City Star that was named the top 15 player in Kansas City area, and it's Max Armstrong. He is a defensive back, and that doesn't match up with what John Betts told us.
But the guy was
the huge
transferred from St. Thomas Aquinas.
So maybe they didn't know that at the time. I don't know. It's the Kansas City Star.
There you go. The insight that you were looking for. On. By the way, Panthers will be in talk about Panther football on Thursday.
Maybe we'll know more by then.
Yeah, yes, we will. Okay. Lyles Lashley talking about the Great Bend Panther boys cross country team. Thinks they'll show improvement. They head to a huge meet in Olathe on Saturday.
Yeah, and I would say, when he was over in Ellenwood, cream of the crop in Class 2A. I think they won 3 straight 2A cross-country titles. That translated to a ton of success on the track, scholarships. Kind of have yet to see that. We've had some great individual runners, Kirby Deppenbush. He just graduated. Caden Esfeld. But as a team, like the girls that are competing for state titles as a team, we haven't seen that on the boys' side. And keep thinking, man, you guys got opportunities here. Let's step up. So I like that he says high potential for these guys.
Monday Night Football. 32-19 49ers beat the Jets last night. And the call on KNBR. Why don't you make that your own call? Touchdown! Panthers!
That's a football call. A goal, right?
Not when you say touchdown.
Well, okay. I got to come up with something of my own. I don't want to copy anybody else.
Jordan Mason, 147 yards rushing and a touchdown. And then talking after the game, it's just the start of what? He's going to Christian McCaffrey missed a game, so does that mean he's going to be in the rest of the year? Anyway, 49ers are a good team.
I found another bite that he was talking to in the locker room. He goes, I'm not answering your question. That's a stupid question. So I chose not to use that.
Well, we didn't want to get Mike fired up here on the show today. Dan Orlovsky, the Cincinnati Bengals need to focus more on the other side of the ball, like stopping the run. Well, Cincinnati, their best receiver is not playing right now, but no one scares me more than the Bengals.
That's what think of what you could be if you used Joe Burrow as a two-way guy. He knows where that quarterback's going.
I don't think the NFL works like that. It's like who shows up
the union
to class on the first day of the year. Oh, we had a move-in family. Look,
who would be the last two-way player in the NFL?
Deion.
More than I was thinking. Chuck Birdneck played for the Eagles like in 1960.
But is it Birdneck?
Something like that.
Chuck Bednarik.
Bednarik. Thank you very much. But Deion was
Birdneck. The Chiefs and Bengals, 3:25 kickoff Sunday at Arrowhead. Pregame at 2 on B1043 The Point. And finally, Jeff Saturday, talking about Deshaun Watson, is one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL right now. So who has more buyer's remorse? And I was going to put 2 in there, but the Broncos have moved on, right? They don't look at their trade with Seattle to get Russell Wilson, right? So I'll put this to 2. I'll say, who's in the worst position now? The Cleveland Browns, who paid a boatload of money to Deshaun Watson, or Fox, who paid Tom Brady a boatload of money to be their lead broadcast team, along with Kevin Burkhardt, Aaron Andrews, and Tom Rinaldi, to replace Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
Did either one of you hear his broadcast?
It wasn't good. It was very awkward.
That's what I'd heard. I haven't heard it, but
have you ever had a color analyst that you've had with you and they freeze and you're describing a play and before long you're doing color by yourself? Because
it's a little disconcerting when you pause and they're expecting them to talk and they don't say anything.
They paid him $375 million.
That's a joke. Yeah, Cleveland a joke too. Obviously we're Baker Mayfield fans for the most part around here.
Speak for yourself.
You're wearing orange today. Became Cleveland fans, started getting into that team, and then they pulled this stunt with the guy with a questionable personality. So even bigger than the football failures was that. And I think I heard yesterday his quarterback rating maybe over the last 2 years, 7. It's unbelievable. It's awesome.
Money well spent. $375.
Doghouse.
Dog pound.
They're in the doghouse.
Okay. Tom Brady put him in the broadcast booth. Okay. Well, there you go.
But on the flip side, Nick Saban, unbelievable on game day. He's really good.
Just see those coaches like that they're good.
I'm rooting for Bill Belichick.
But then you got Tom Brady in that stupid. He's in some new commercial. It's just how much money do you need? Quit selling yourself out to everything you're going to fail at.
Tom Brady's the GOAT. I mean, greatest of all time. But he's kind of a weird dude. I mean, really is. I mean.
Oh, he likes avocados.
What's wrong with avocados?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, there you go. Sounds the past 24 hours or so. We're going to talk high school football. Cole Reif coming in, Megan Bessiger, Barton volleyball, and Mike Corson on the prowl. Yes, sir. Great Bend Panther girls tennis, all on the way here on Sports Day.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec.
Sports, leisure, fitness and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend. Or check out the website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the rec.
He's the voice of the Barton Cougars and the Hoisington Football Cardinals. And back in the day, he could play a mean game of darts. It's Cole Reif time on Sports Day.
Sports Day here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Time to talk high school football with the voice of the Hoisington Cardinals and the Barton Cougars, Cole Reif. Well, let's jump right into it. You always worry about bad things that happen. You always forget football. Oh, yeah, it's a good thing. Oh, yeah, there's injuries. Well, there's been some. Hoiston suffered their own over the years, some key ones. But, man, what a deflating thing early in a game after such a positive moment. Jason Robinson gets hurt early in the game against the Pratt Greenbacks.
Yeah, you can make the case that, I think there's a lot of good players, but you can make the case that Jason Robinson is the best player that Hoistington has this year. And to lose your arguably number one player, less than 20 seconds into the football game, That hurts. I mean, now I say that, and I don't know if if Jason Robinson's in the game. I don't know if that changes the actual outcome. I thought Pratt was just truly better Friday night, but it would have been nice to have seen, especially I think offensively, as good as he is defensively. When your game plan to be taking quarterback snaps, it would have been nice to at least seen what the offense could do or what it would look like with J-Rob taking snaps. Because, I mean, Zach even touched on it in the postgame. You felt like half of your practices and all offseason were a waste. Because you practiced that, hey, he's got these certain packages. Like Ringgold is going to have more of the passing package. But, J-Rob's going to have more of, his read option. And he's going to have more of a run package. But you, at least 50% of those snaps you had planned for, Robinson taking them. So it would have been nice to see it. But, that was Pratt was ready. Pratt was, the more physical team. Pratt was just simply the better team. So that was a tough one to take on the chin in week one. We've seen Hoisington bounce back and have really good seasons after a week one loss, especially, to Pratt here in recent past. But, that was a tough one to take. And like Zach says, kind of back to square one, going back to the ground roots, if you will.
So when you mention packages, though, I'm sure that Ren's package included Jason as a receiver.
True.
In that package. Okay.
That's a good point.
Both packages were
gone.
So the new rankings are out this week, and it's weird because Hoiston's not even mentioned in the others considered. A little bit harsh.
Yeah, I thought that was a little harsh. I think it was a weird scenario, and I felt like Pratt fans and Pratt folks and even the coaching staff, from what I heard, I don't know if they had a chip on their shoulder, which is fine, but I think because they weren't ranked in 3A and Hoisington was ranked in 2A, it can go from 2 to 4, wherever the ranking was, last week, which ranking you're looking at. But I felt like they thought that they were, overlooked and everyone was picking Hoisington, which to me was not the case. I felt like, you had Connor Nickel on Friday and he was kind of leaning towards Pratt. I think those that knew understood, how, good Pratt could be. So I don't know. I felt like they thought they were overlooked and kind of took it personally. But no, I don't think, I think Pratt's a top 10 team in Class 3A. It's just hard to get ranked in the top 5 in 3A. I mean, you look at all those teams that are in there, who are you going to take out? So, I think Pratt should be receiving votes, and I think Hoisington, losing to a talented Pratt team should probably be receiving votes, but, week one, and even if it was week 10, who cares if you're receiving votes or not? If you're not in the top 5, I don't want you in the discussion anyway, so.
So the injury kind of overshadowed everything else that, came out of the game. I mean, other thoughts on the defense or other aspects of the Cardinals' opening season performance?
I was really proud of the defense. I mean, you gave up 24 points. That's not bad.
No.
I mean, even in a full game, I don't care against who you're playing, but you give up 24. That's not bad against a 3A team that was rolling. And especially the first half, I was really impressed with Hoisington's defense because it felt like, people don't like war analogies because you should never compare something to war.
That's what football is. Land acquisition.
I know. There's people out there battling. But anyway,
they don't listen.
But I felt like it was like one of those situations, like a week one game, where you're a parachuter and it was cloudy down below and you felt safe, and then you drop in on your parachute and then you quickly realize that you're outmanned and outnumbered. I felt like that was the situation for Hoisington. You go into a week one game, you're not exactly sure, and then one of your parachutes didn't even launch, because Robinson got hurt in the first 20 seconds, so one guy's back in the helicopter, and so I felt like they landed and then quickly realized, hey, we're outmanned. But I give them credit because they held the fort. They defended the fort for the entire first half because they got down there a couple times inside the 15-yard line, and Hoisington came up with a 4th down stop and, kept at an 8-3 game. Then you come out in the second half, and you have a 5.5-minute drive, exactly what you need to get the ball to start the second half. You march all the way down to the red zone and then can't convert on a 4th and 2. And that was the killer for me. I remember talking to Gene, who's just like, man, that hurt because not only you're down just 5 points, but you took up 5.5 minutes in a game that was a grinded-out game. So even if Pratt doesn't score again, it's still going to be tough to get down to that spot again. So, that was a challenge. But again, like we thought, and then like Zach mentioned, the defense is ahead, I think, of, the offense right now. And obviously with the injury to Robinson, the offense took a huge step back too. So we'll see what they got for week 2 with Heston coming up.
Heston beats Halstead 21-14.
Yeah, balanced look. I mean, I thought last year Heston, especially that week 1 game here in Hoisington, there was kind of a scramble look. They had a couple guys that were suspended, didn't play in that first game of the season. They're a little bit more comfortable. They had to replace some linemen, but, the backfield's got some more experience with Jarek Humphreys at quarterback taking some snaps, and pretty balanced attack against Halstead. I think they put up pretty much even through the air and also on the ground. Didn't do a whole lot in the second half, but, kind of, made their pay in the first half. So, yeah, I mean, Heston will be good. That's another good team. I mean, you look at those non-conference games, they're all 3A schools, and they're all pretty good. Obviously with Scott City coming up in another week, and then Cheney, but then, in 3A and Heston. So it's a fun non-conference schedule. I think Hoisington's going to learn a lot in these first 5 weeks.
So, but you come away with the thing that, the Cardinals went in there, and a lot of adversity right off the start, and they hung in there and battled against a good team.
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, I mean, it tipped to the hat to Pratt. I mean, Pratt's good. Pratt's going to be fun to watch. I mean, I think they're going to, obviously they have Wichita Collegiate, and then they'll have Cheney at the end of the regular season, and those will be tough games. But, I think Pratt's going to be for sure a 6-2, maybe 7-1, maybe they get collegiate. I'm not sure, but I think that's a talented team. So to go in there and lose that ball game, it stinks as Pratt. Obviously you want to win that type of ball game, but it's non-district. It has nothing to do with your playoff position. So at this point, just play, try to learn, figure some things out, and hopefully the guys will have kind of a fire in them for week 2.
Let's look at 2A West. Significant things on this side after week 1 that you saw.
I'll go to the East real quickly. Nemaha Central losing, to Marysville. That was probably one of the bigger upsets. Obviously don't know exactly what, Marysville had. Maybe they had a good group coming back. But, Nemaha Central's 26-game win streak comes to an end. So they dropped down in the rankings. Now, they stayed in the top 5 with their loss to Marysville. Hoisington completely dropped out. But
of others considered, too. Yeah,
the others considered. Norton did their thing, as expected. I mean, I thought it was very clear that Norton was the best team, as far as what they have coming back in the West. Southeast is Saline. They put it up there. So they look good at number 2. Other teams on the West, Ellsworth, is just trying to figure out what they're going to have back and, what the style is going to be for Ellsworth. Beloit was able to pick up a win. I'm trying to think of some of the other, Haven was able to knock off Hillsboro. So, maybe Haven's one of those guys or one of those teams that can play a little bit of factor in the playoffs. But I still think it's those top dogs.
Yeah, same Garden Plains in there.
Yeah, Garden Plain had a nice win on Thursday night. So, yeah, not bad.
Silver Lake. Okay, the top 5. Yeah, Norton, southeast of Saline. St. Mary's, Silver Lake, Nemaha Central. Okay, Mr. Ranker. 5A poll.
How about that?
K-Preps. Mill Valley, Blue Valley, St. Thomas Aquinas, Goddard Eisenhower at number 4, St. James Academy number 5, and then the others considered. Baser Linwood, DeSoto, Great Bend, Mays South, Pittsburgh, Salina Central, and Topeka Seaman.
So Great Bend went from number 5, won their game convincingly at McPherson, and they dropped down, right? Now, St. James Academy had a nice win, so that's what propelled them in there.
Anything with a Saint on it is not good in the upper levels, right?
I would agree. But if you're looking ahead for Great Bend, and obviously you mentioned Goddard Eisenhower's in there, and there's going to be some others that are solid, and we'll see what Hayes has after getting roughed up against Derby. But the West is very, very open. Like, you look at those teams outside of Goddard Eisenhower, they're all in the East, right?
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of those top teams in Class 5A that are on that East side. Now, Salina Central is probably going to be solid again. Like I said, we'll see what Hayes has. But in Goddard and Goddard Eisenhower, man, I like the way a path sets up if Great Bend can kind of, take care of business this season.
What do you think of Mays South in your ranking scenario?
Didn't have them.
Okay.
Didn't rank them.
Well, I was just wondering. I didn't know. I thought, but that's going to be a good test. I mean,
oh yeah,
yeah. Okay. Interesting. Look who's in the top 5 in 6-man football. Otis Bison.
Weird, isn't it?
Coming in at number 5, and we forget they've had some great teams, so that's kind of neat. How about St. John? in the others considered in Class 1A Division II. That's pretty cool. Central Plains is in the others considered in 1A Division I. Central Plains will take on the third-ranked team in Class 1A Division II, Victoria. And then, yeah, you can see the rankings again.
It'd be nice to see that get back to a pretty good rivalry. Like, back in the day, Otis Bison and Victoria, when Otis Bison was playing 8-man, like, that used to be a huge matchup and, close proximity. Then, obviously, Central Plains and Victoria with the close proximity as well used to be huge. And then Victoria's kind of stayed steady as, one of the top teams. Central Plains has had some drop. Otis Bison's obviously had some drop. So it would be awesome to at least see the Central Plains Victoria matchup get some juice on it again.
We were talking last night with Mike Marzoff and our because I saw Peabody, which is now Peabody Burns. Talk about how the landscape's changed over the years. They're playing 6-man football now. I remember they played Beloit in the 3A state championship game. That's a pretty significant drop from 3A to 6-man.
Yeah. Well, I remember, teams like Hutch Trinity that used to be, battling Hoisington in Class 3A. And, yeah, there's a lot of those
What
teams.
Are we going to do? We need economic development. Get to Sarah Hayden, and we're going to talk about how to...
She needs to go to every single football community there is in the state of Kansas
Let's
to build
find
them
out
up.
how to disperse all these athletes around the state, somewhere to do it. So, all right, so Heston coming in. What are you thinking here early in the week?
No, I think it'll be. I think it's a little bit more level of a matchup for Hoisington here in week 2 compared to Pratt's style. So I think the style matches up a little bit. But Jarek Humphreys, he'll throw it downfield. He'll take his chances downfield. So, arguably, I guess the consideration that Jason Robinson might not be in that lineup for week 2. That's going to be a concern as far as the secondary getting tested. But I think it's a more favorable matchup for Hoisington, and at home. Crowd should be good. It's the only home game in the month of September for Hoisington, so hopefully it's a juice crowd. But I think Heston provides a good challenge. They're never any slouch. I thought even the first half last year was decent, and then Hoisington put it on in the second half, and that was a game where I thought Hoisington was heavily favored. So I think this will at least on paper be fairly evenly matched.
How long's Jason out?
Don't know on that one. I'll get some more information, but I'm just going to say
But he didn't break
a little
it,
bit.
right?
That's the hope. That's the hope that it's not broken.
Okay.
Yeah.
Homer.
You like that answer?
Cole Reif joining us here on Sports Day, brought to you in part by Eller Automotive Repair. They specialize in wheel alignments, oil changes, general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Great Bend RAC Commission, dedicated to improving our community and the lives of its individuals. And Freedom Claims Management, innovative health care plans for your business. Let them take care of everything for you from start to finish, and continued support. They have you covered. We're going to talk Barton volleyball coming up next on Sports
From
Day.
the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
If you're needing a healthcare plan for your business, let the experienced and dedicated staff at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your business's need. Regardless if you're a large corporation or a small business on Main Street, Freedom Claims Management Incorporated can help you provide your employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. Visit freedomclaimsinc.com where you can schedule a free, no-obligation health assessment today. Freedom Claims Management Incorporated in Great Bend.
Discover affordable education with Barton Online. Whether you're looking to pick up a class or earn your associate degree, we've got you covered for less than half the cost of a university. We are always enrolling with 5 sessions available this fall, including 16, 8, and 4-week sessions. Get started when it fits your schedule. Tackle your gen eds or the first 2 years of college with the low-cost pathway and save time and money with Barton Online. Visit online.bartonccc.edu and enroll today.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
Now, in its 13th year, this program is brought to you exclusively by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. This is Sports Day on KVGB.
Welcome back. Sports Day brought to you in part by Equity Bank. Here when you need them. Bank local. Save big with in-person banking and business banking. Visit equitybank.com for more information. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoisington, and Larned, and by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend. I try to make promos for Barton Volleyball to let everyone know that they're going to be in here, and then I say they're 6th ranked, and then I find then they're up to number 4. They're in here today with us. Joining us, Maya Thompson. Welcome back to the studio, Maya.
Thank you.
And head coach Megan Bessaker. Just off to a nice little tidy 11-0 start. Good week for Barton Volleyball, Megan.
Yes, it's been a really good start, and we have another challenging weekend ahead of us. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Last week we were talking to you about welcoming Butler back to the Kirkman Center, and you made the visit quite uncomfortable for them. Talk about the match against Butler. You take them down in 3 straight sets.
We did. We did a really good job last week when we played Butler. Our setters did a really good job of getting everyone involved along the net. All of our hitters pretty much had the same amount of attempts. So I think offensively we were pretty hard to defend when that happens, when everyone is hitting the ball well.
Maya, what do you think of that? Was that kind of sweet?
Yeah, it was a fun one. Obviously, they ended our year in the region semi last year. So it was fun, to come back with a little bit of a vengeance.
How much nicer did it feel to take him in 3 straight sets instead of it comes down to the final 2 points in the 5th set?
Yeah, it was fun. It felt good, but I think we were confident going into it that we were going to take care of business. So.
Okay, you're part of this team. I mean, you're one of the veterans that are back. A number of them coming back from last year's squad. What's the same? What's different about this year's club?
Honestly, I think a lot of our, we bring back so many freshmen, now sophomores, that the mentality is the same, I think. We've had a really competitive group, both last year and this year. But I think we're just a little bit more confident. Obviously, you return 9 and a transfer, so you have 10 sophomores. You have a group that's seen the floor. They've experienced college volleyball before, and we definitely play like it.
Okay, so you have this added experience. Let's look from your standpoint when you're off season, some things that you wanted to improve in your game this year to contribute even more to Barton volleyball.
For me personally, blocking was huge. Obviously, I play on the right side, so most of the time I have a team's biggest hitter across the net from me on the outside. And so contributing offensively on a team like ours is simple because we have quite a few weapons, so we disperse the ball pretty evenly. But being able to step up defensively and get as many block touches as possible is huge for me on the court.
Coach, what's Maya mean to this club?
Maya provides a lot for us. Like she said, her blocking has improved tremendously, and it's something that we talked about. The transition from high school to college, blocking is one of the main things, and you really don't realize how important it is until you're in the college game. And on top of that, though, Maya's one of the best leaders on our team. She's one of our team captains this year. She does a really good job of holding her team accountable. She worked extremely hard in the off season this summer. She just does a lot outside of just the practice to help herself get better, but also her team.
Talk about the recruitment of Maya Thompson.
That's an interesting story. So originally Maya was supposed to go to Hayes, and then some things had changed in June, so it was a little bit late. I tried to recruit her while she was still unsigned, and she had no interest in playing JUCO volleyball or coming to Barton, but it changed that summer, and I think now she says it's the best decision she ever made, and she's grateful for it, and she recommends it to other people. But it was definitely interesting. I kind of got told no a couple times before I got the yes.
Did she ever become like a pest? Maya, you know, say, well, that's how I got to fight.
No,
okay.
no, I no.
No, okay.
We'll go with no.
Yeah. Last night, Pratson, you know, you're coming off that sweep. First of all, how was it having the weekend off, Maya?
Different.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say at this time of year. Is that
Yeah.
scheduling kind of the way you made it?
So
Or is it just the way it worked out?
last year we didn't have any weekends off. This year they had the one weekend. We were supposed to play Pratt on Saturday, but Pratt had a tournament, and so that's why the game was on a Monday, so it gave them the Saturday off. We have one other Saturday where we don't have a game because my brother's getting married, but other than that, they usually don't get Saturdays. So I did actually give them the whole Saturday off. So some of them went and enjoyed the state fair, and they had some time to do some team bonding stuff and just to kind of relax after a big week the week before.
Did you go to the state fair?
I did.
Well,
yeah.
you're probably like the host.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. The state fair's annual for me.
Okay, did you take anybody to the old mill, or is it, I mean, where's your go-to place at the state fairground?
The fried cookie dough stand.
Okay.
Yeah.
You weren't training that day. I got a fried cookie dough stand. You must have played pretty well against Pratt, Megan.
We struggled a
Sorta,
little
kinda.
bit,
Okay.
but you know, everyone got their chance to play. We took care of business in the long run. Some of those games, it's kind of hard to stay focused, but they did the job, and you know, a win's a win. But we have some stuff we have to work on today in practice.
Okay, and then headed to Sterling, Colorado.
Yes.
This weekend. Talk about that tournament there.
So tomorrow we actually play McPherson JV at home. Originally we were supposed to play Iowa Western. They had to cancel. So we do have a home game tomorrow at 6:30. And then we head straight to Colorado on Thursday because we play 2 games Friday, 2 games Saturday. This is our toughest weekend ahead. We play 3 ranked teams. So we play Indian Hills, who's number 10. We play Western Nebraska, who I think is 17. Odessa, who's 15. And then we play Laramie, who took a set off of the number 1 team. So this weekend is definitely our most challenging weekend ahead. We've played teams that have been challenging, but not as many teams in one tournament as we will this weekend.
You started the season 17th, Maya. Now you're up to number 4. Do you feel that proverbial target on your back now as you go into this weekend?
You know, that's definitely something we've talked about as a team. Obviously, the higher you climb in the rankings, you know, the more people are going to pay attention to you. But I think we just kind of make it a priority to continue to play Barton volleyball how we know best, and you can't really let too many outside voices in. So,
Okay, I saw your reaction to Mike Corson's question when you came in. It was about your brother. So all I'm going to say is, wouldn't it be nice to be able to match his ring?
yeah, it would. It would be really nice.
Yeah.
We've definitely talked about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Since we've already brought it up, part of the reason Maya told me no of coming to Barton was because Miles was here. So
yeah, that was a big factor. But
Well, who wants brother around?
right,
You know? Yeah.
right.
But,
It turned out to be a blessing.
Yeah.
It did. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a fun year to have him around, but
Okay.
I'll enjoy my year without him too.
Okay.
so.
Well, I can't wait. That's a goal to have at the end of the year. Say, hey, take that,
Absolutely.
bro. Look at that. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I've got one too. Good luck, and we'll talk to you next week, Megan.
Perfect.
Thanks,
Thank
Maya.
you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Maya Thompson and Coach Bessaker with us here on Sports Day. We'll talk Great Bend girls tennis after this.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Wright, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
Extend the life of your equipment with the best warranty program and risk management tool in the agriculture industry. The Cenex Total Protection Plan covers new and used equipment. Receive up to 10 years or 10,000 hours of engine coverage when you use Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster premium diesel fuel and synthetic lubricants. With no deductible, the Cenex Total Protection Plan provides unmatched coverage to give you the power you need to keep your business running like a well-oiled machine.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department
in Great Bend. Your certified Cenex distributor today.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. Mike Corson joined today by Panther tennis coach Zach Bartle. Busy day for you guys, Coach. Where are you headed today?
Busy day and a busy start of a busy week. We got our home varsity meet today.
Excellent. So get out and support the Panthers today. Before we get into your stuff, I want to talk about my stuff. You're my Royals contact, so every coach I have that knows about the Royals, how do we fix this bullpen problem going into what we hope is the playoffs?
I didn't know you were going to have me figure out a fix for it. I don't know.
Just throw strikes and make outs, huh?
Yeah, I hate when they walk the leadoff batter. You know, innings going to go horrible when that happens. But, yeah, I don't know, giving up too many home runs.
Yeah, and obviously, Yankees are big power bats, but it seems like every time the Royals make a mistake, somebody capitalizes. It's kind of uncanny. Okay, but you're paid to talk Coach tennis, so we will probably focus on that here. You guys had a really nice opening to the season last week in Lions. Let's talk about that a little bit. Go in with expectations that high?
Yeah, I would honestly say we did. It's not the most competitive meet, but, I think we won the matches that we needed to win. It's a good start. I don't know, I'm kind of temper the celebration of that a little bit just because the competition wasn't what we'll see later on in the year, but it was really nice to start out that way, sure.
And I always said kind of the same thing about K-State is if you're beating the Cupcakes by 20 points, it's a little problematic, but some nice scores. Well, number one singles, you had Paige Stacy go 3-0 with a couple of almost perfect matches. Just how about her play at the number one single spot?
Yeah, I would say Paige had at least one, maybe two of the more competitive matches. She faced a pretty tough Pratt girl who I know beat us the year before. Can't remember who she played, but she beat us the year before. But, yeah, Paige really was playing well. I thought her second match would be a little tougher, but I think she won it 6-1. I remember that girl's name from last year. I think she was one of the tougher girls there last year. So, yeah, I was really happy with Paige.
Yeah, she ended up beating Pratt's Kate Jackson 6-3 for the championship. Number one doubles, you had Darcy Feist and Mac Lindbergh there. Couple 6-1 matches in pool play, and then another 6-2 win over Ashland to take first place. Anything stick out with those two?
They took care of business pretty well. Their last match was a little bit tougher than the previous ones. I think they faced one girl who had a pretty big serve, and she hit hard, but it didn't faze them. But I think that was Ashland we played in the final. They did a lot of lobbing. I think they kind of ran out of ideas, and that threw us a little bit for a loop, but we had patience, which we don't always have that, but we showed good patience and kind of powered through that very well.
Yeah, your other pair that finished at 3-0 on the day was at number 2 doubles, Beth Hammocky and Mackenzie LaViolette. A little bit more contested matches, but still kind of walk-offs at 6-3, 6-3, 6-2. Just nice to see the number 2s playing like that.
Sure, absolutely. We're still trying to figure our number 2s out and looking for improvement there. But yeah, it was a really good showing by them. They got I don't know if they got down, but they struggled in a couple of those matches. But they kind of righted the ship and turned those around.
Talking to Lady Panther tennis coach Zach Bartle, and you kind of had a funny situation or an interesting one last week. Well, you guys go to McPherson. The weather hits midday. What happens after that?
Well, we were about halfway through the meet, and it just
started sprinkling for like a minute, and then it just started pouring. So they pulled all the girls off the court, and they even there's a middle school football game going on right next door to our courts too, and they ended up pulling everyone into the school. They wanted to get people in shelter. I don't know if there was some chance of severe storms, so the coaches decided we'd give it about 30 minutes because it was pretty spotty on the radar. And we waited. People started drying the courts, and then there was no sun. The courts weren't going to dry very well. So I'm drawing this out too long. But finally we decided to not go for it. And then, boy, very soon after that, it started pouring once again. So,
but instead of just scratching everything, somehow everybody's coming back together to make up the rest of that?
Yeah, the brackets are filled in as far as they can be, and the matches that were going, they wrote down exactly what their scores were. You know, like could have even been like 6-3, 15-30. They're somewhere in the middle of the game, and they'll pick them up right from there.
Interesting. And so what do we need to know about today if anybody wants to get out and support the Lady Panther tennis team?
Well, we start at 3 o'clock out at Vets Courts. We'll have tennis on all 8 courts. The teams coming today are Dodge City and Hayes, and Beloit is a new one. We lost Larned from recent history and got Beloit to fill their spot. So I don't know anything about Beloit. But there'll be singles and doubles on all the courts starting at 3 and going for a few hours.
Yeah, and we can say in spring in Kansas, you never know, but looking out the windows today, looks like not much wind. I think low to mid-90s, about a perfect day for some tennis.
Yeah, a little warm, but I think the humidity is pretty low, and a little bit of wind, if it picks up a little bit, would actually be like a welcome thing today. So, yeah, should be good.
Thank you for joining us, Lady Panther tennis coach Zach Bartle, and good luck to you and the girls today.
All right, thanks, Mike.
More Sports Day after this.
Dr. Nels here, Animal Medical Center, and today I wanted to visit with you about the power of a multi-doctor practice. And the power of a multi-doctor practice is we can serve many different people, many different personalities. The power of a multi-doctor practice is we have a lot of horsepower here, a lot of people. We can get a lot done. We can say yes, we can get you taken care of. The other cool thing about a multi-doctor practice is we're all different personalities, we're all different makes and models. Dr. Nels here, Animal Medical Center, large or small, we take care of them all.
Central and Western Kansas residents, are you looking for a new vehicle? Marmy Auto Group can make it happen. Marmy Auto Group includes Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram, Chevrolet, and GMC. Marmy Auto Group, your Central and Western Kansas dealer, has new and pre-owned vehicles, or we can special order your vehicle today. If your existing vehicle needs serviced, Marmy's award-winning service department can help. Come to Marmy Auto Group on 10th or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
Discover affordable education with Barton Online. Whether you're looking to pick up a class or earn your associate degree, we've got you covered for less than half the cost of a university. We are always enrolling with 5 sessions available this fall, including 16, 8, and 4-week sessions. Get started when it fits your schedule. Tackle your gen eds or the first 2 years of college with a low-cost pathway and save time and money with Barton Online. Visit online.bartoncccc.edu and enroll today.
For the past 13 years, Sports Day has been the show devoted to local sports and local athletes. And it's all brought to you by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Indeed, and some other great sponsors as well. American Plains Co-op Bulk Fuel Department featuring number 2 Clear Diesel, Bulk Fuel, E10, fuel delivery, all your lubricants and fuel supplies. Equity Bank, adding value for their customers and communities. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoiston, and Larned. See the locations tab at equitybank.com for more locations. The Animal Medical Center, the official care provider for Frank the Black Cat. Big or small, they take care of them all. And the Barton Cougar Booster Club continuing their efforts to make the Barton Athletic Department the best in the country. Okay, high school football coming up Friday. Here's your matchups. In the Western Athletic Conference, Olathe South at Great Bend. Hayes at Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Dodge City at Olathe East. Garden City at Olathe Northwest. Wichita South at Liberal. Central Kansas League, Heston is at Hoisington. Larned is at home against Hillsboro. Harrington, 0-1 at Ellenwood. Ellenwood trying to get off to a 2-0 start. They got off to a 4-0 start last year. They're in a murderous district, 0-1A. Not saying they can't improve on that, but that's what happens when you get to those other games. Lions is at Minneapolis. Norton at TMP. Norton up to number 1 in Class 3A, or 2A. And let's see, Ellsworth at Republic County. Central Plains at Victoria. Central Plains receiving votes in 8-man 1. Victoria number 3 in 8-man 2. St. John heading to Ness City, trying to get to 2-0. Kinsley at Maxville. La Crosse at Logan Palco. Stafford, they lost their opening game against Reno County Homeschool. They play at Pretty Prairie. And Otis Bison, number 5. It's in the 6-man poll. Otis Bison's back in the rankings. We forget the great teams that Otis Bison has had over the years. Head coach Travis Starr, they've got some things going. Watch out for them. Pawnee Heights getting votes in the 6-man poll as well. They are at Western Plains. Mentioned this yesterday. 6 of the top 7 teams in the AP Top 25 are from the SEC. The only team that isn't is Ohio State, number 3. Georgia 1, Texas 2, Ohio State 3, Alabama 4, Mississippi 5, Missouri number 6, Tennessee number 7, Oklahoma State, the highest Big 12 ranked team, they're 13th. Kansas State up to 14th this week. Arizona will be in Manhattan Friday night, number 20, Iowa State 21, and Nebraska number 23. They're not in there, but I know all the Husker fans are starting to float their corn right now. Illinois will beat KU. They're just out of the rankings behind Northern Illinois, who moved in to the top 25 after their
beating Notre Dame, and they're in the top 25 now.
Well, you had to legitimize Notre Dame only dropping to 18, right?
No, okay.
Your tag package with that.
Yes.
KU got 22 votes, so they're still receiving votes. Chiefs wide receiver Marquise Brown getting close to being able to play. That's what Andy Reid said yesterday. Declined, though, to say whether there's a chance their big free agent acquisition would be on the field Sunday for their game with the Bengals.
The man who says nothing, Andy Reid. He doesn't give anything away, does he?
Really. I mean, an Andy Reid press conference.
Rather mundane.
Yeah. Cleveland Browns adding wide receiver Kadarius Toney to their practice squad. First-round draft pick in 2021 by the Giants. The Chiefs traded for him. He did do some good things, 2 spectacular plays while the Chiefs beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl, caught a 5-yard touchdown pass and returned a punt 65 yards to set up another score. If he can find somebody to throw to him in Cleveland.
I think that tells you where the Browns are at. If they're hiring Kadarius Toney.
One of those guys that, well, he's always been hurt.
Everybody, he's got all the talent in the world. Well, he's never been able to prove it on the field.
Kansas guard Shaquille Moore could miss up to 8 weeks after he broke his foot. That potentially leaves KU without a second guard for the start of the basketball season. Elmarco Johnson's, he's out for the year with a knee injury. Jayhawks open against Howard on November 4th. It's always amazing. College basketball, just all of a sudden, oh, yeah.
It's right there.
It started.
Well, they're talking about the Royals and their starters, about how they're now feeling refreshed. They made it through the dog days of summer, so to speak, and now you can see the finish line. You know, the finish line is, 3 weeks away? They're like, okay, we can make this. It's amazing how, from the end of August to about now, you're like, oh, it's such a drag. And then you're like, ooh, end of the season right here.
I know that you should probably discuss this, so because you haven't answered me, I'll just put you on the spot right now. What are we going to do Friday?
I know what I would consider doing.
So we haven't made a decision yet.
The people that need to make the decision.
You're the operations manager. Make a call, man. Well, anyway, all right. Sorry. Tomorrow on the show, Shelley Duvall will be in. She's bringing a couple juniors with her. John Betts will be back. I promised him I'd stay on football this week.
And do we want to take bets on that if you stay on football?
I can just sit here and talk about oddball things with Betts all day. And Gerard Walbrock, voice of the Tigers. Talk to you tomorrow.